I hope you guys had a great spring break. Had a chance to just recapture some energy, and we're back at it. So we're moving on into chapter 7, which you had the option of reading last week, or the week before spring break. Um, but if not, that's fine. You can go ahead and read it this week and take the test. And so this week we're going to be continuing with decision making. And of course, to do so, I want you to first read the chapter, the 7th chapter of the textbook. And you have a Dropbox assignment, which a few of you have done already, but I want the rest of the class to get that done. And this is going to be the starting point for our paper. So we're going to have a paper for this class, and if you do these Dropbox assignments each week, you should have a great outline for your paper that you can stitch together and have a wonderful paper with. And it will come together. It's a fairly simple project, but it gets to the point of what we do in public administration. Next, we're going to watch a video. It's called Losing Iraq, and it's a really interesting video. It actually uses a public administration lens to look at about some things that happened over the course of our invasion in Iraq. And this is a really violent documentary, so I do have a warning about that here. And so if you do not want to see the imagery, there is transcripts you can read, and I have the transcripts posted as well. So in prior semesters, I have put that option out there for people who may not want to watch the documentary. Like I said, there is violence in it, so I don't want to bother anybody with that. But it's a very well made film about administrative decisions done over the course of quite a while, and these decisions changed a lot of directions of what was happening over there. And so it's important to watch. Like I said before numerous times, public administration, we study culture and we study processes and we study decisions. And this documentary has all of that in there. It has numerous people making decisions, processes changing, and there's some real consequences to decisions that were made. And so I want you to pay attention to that. So you're going to choose 2 of the threads, and you're going to post to 2 of them. There's 3 total, and you're going to use the documentary as your reference. So make sure you stick with the topic and write about the documentary. And then there's a chapter 7 quiz. So you're just going to have your initial post this week and your Dropbox and your quiz to really get done. So as we go through our week, it should be pretty simple. Here's the key points in the text. Here's the video. And like I said, it's a really well-made video. Make sure you really pay attention to it, though. Don't try to watch this in passing. Focus and take some notes, because you'll need them for your discussion. Here's the transcript. You can click on here and get the transcript open for you if you don't want to watch the video. And like I said, I totally understand. And we have the discussion and 3 of the questions we're going to have. So you're going to pick an example of an administrative decision that's discussed in the film, and there's numerous things you can choose from. So I want you to explain if this decision was made with expert advice or a rejection of expert advice. One thing in public administration is you generally want your experts to be weighing in, and you don't want decisions to be made on a gut feeling. And so I want you to discuss if that was taken into account, because there were a lot of things that were done without expert advice. And you can discuss who you think is an expert in the discussion as well. Then you're going to look at change. So I want you to discuss one of the many decisions to change strategies in Iraq by a public administrator, and then discuss the result of that decision. So like I said, there's nothing really more, there's not too many examples out there that are a little more strong than things that were made over those few years that are discussed in this video. And then using the video again, I want you to discuss public administration's role in influencing politics in Iraq. And so it's kind of a backwards question, because usually you think of politics influencing public admin. In this, we're going to look at how public administrators actually influence politics. And again, there's numerous examples of that. One thing I want to discuss about this video, aside from the fact that it is violent, it's also really well made, like I said. But they interview the actual decision makers, so they talk to the people instead of just talk about them. So it discusses with people at different levels in the bureaucracy, and it gives you some interesting input. There were a lot of non-military people who were placed in decision-making roles, so keep that in mind. So some of these people really didn't really know what they were doing with what the military can and can't do. Again, I want you to focus on public administration and not politics too with this, which is very difficult. This is kind of a test for you. It's not get too political. It's very easy, just to put it out there. I myself am pretty anti-war, and I have to put that aside when I watch a video that discusses something that takes place, and I have to think about the administrative decisions. So you're going to focus just on the public administration side. One thing that you learn if you go into studying public administration is that we focus a lot on processes and actions. And in fact, if you look at administrative law, they really just focus on the processes. They don't even really care what the result is. They're more interested in if the processes were all followed that were supposed to be put out. And with that, you got to think that there's some things that are being decided on that may not have a clear right or wrong answer for the decision maker. So they know that if they make a decision one way or the other, they're going to be viewed negatively for it. So I want you to keep that in mind. Also, presidential politics, don't include those in the discussion. This discussion covers two administrations, so it covers Bush and it covers Obama's administration. Don't turn this into a discussion on the presidents. It's really easy to sidetrack the whole discussion. So we're just going to focus on the facts. And so the fact is that we were there, and the discussion over whether that was right or wrong, there is a place for that. Unfortunately, it's not in this class. So you're gonna just focus on what was happening. So we were there, and you're gonna focus on the people from the Secretary of Defense on down. Those are the public administrators. But don't use this as a forum to say that you agree with war, or you don't agree with it, or you agree with this president but not that president. Just stick to the facts. It'll make the discussion much better. And like I said, this is kind of a test to make sure you avoid partisan politics, which I do warn people is very difficult. I come across this every semester. I use this video. I've been using it for a while, and I've usually had pretty good luck in students just sticking with the public administrative side. But if you see yourself drifting over to discussing presidents, you got off topic. So try not to really do that. And so again, it's an interesting video. I do have the transcript, so I do want to remind you of that. If you do not want to watch it, there is a transcript that you can read. And I just want to make sure that you get the information. And so some people might actually pull the transcript and watch the video and be able to take side notes on the transcript. But it's totally up to you how you do this. And if you have any questions, go ahead and reach out to me. I'll be glad to answer them. Midterms are due fairly soon, and so like I told you guys in the last video, I will have midterms turned in probably a little bit early, so your grades will all be done, and then the midterms will be reported. But all in all, I'm really happy with the discussions you're having in the class, and I do hope you're enjoying this class. And have a great week. And like I said, go ahead and get a hold of me if you have any questions. Thank you.